Let's go. Power.
Obi-Wan plays.
Yes, right. What's up? All right.
Obi-Wan plays.
What is going on, everybody? How are y'all doing? We live, and we have some dope news. Close the door, Joshua. Y'all come in and y'all leave the door open, bruh. What's up, everybody coming into the chat? Bowsette, We Happy, Bane, Contra, Money Tree, Happy Friday. Happy Nintendo Direct week. They can still see you on camera. You need to talk to me? No, that's not. This is the cord that came with my phone.
Oh.
Kids be trying to take my stuff, bro. I hope everybody doing good. Thugs, what's up, bro? Bruh. Yes. Bruh. We got something to talk about. I meant to talk about it yesterday, but we got to talk about it now. And it's crazy how they're playing this Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer. This is just a Nintendo Direct playing. But we're going to talk about this. I got to ask y'all a question. Is 60 frames per second for big AAA games the new norm on the Switch 2? Bruh, let me put up this other trailer. Hold on, bro. Bro, I don't know about y'all, but my expectations are starting to change as far as how these games are running on the Switch 2 now. And it's all Capcom's fault. The last 3 big AAA games that graphically look good, so I can't even say it was like the graphics is, only the small indie games are going to be 60 frames. That actually look good AAA games. And it's crazy how Pragmata is the next trailer. We're going to talk about Pragmata too. Are all 60 frames per second. Contra, we're going to talk about that Final Fantasy. I'm going to get back to Final Fantasy. Square Enix is not off the hook. I bought Grid a few days ago. The game looks good on the Switch 2. And it's running at 60 frames per second. There's a performance mode and there's a graphics mode. And you know we always pick performance. Big AAA game looking good, running at 60 frames per second. Then right after that, I don't have it right here. Oh, right after that, I bought another game on my Switch 2. Hold on, let me pull it up. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined on the Switch 2. Yes, it's a more of a cartoony art style, but the game looks good, bro. The game looks good. The battle system running at 60 frames per second, that lets me know. Isn't Animal Crossing only 30 frames per second? Now I'm starting to put, I'm telling you, Capcom has me looking at everybody sideways now, bro. Well, this is Square Enix, so shout out to Square Enix. They did get this at 60 frames. But this game looks good, runs good. So I got Grid Legends I played, running at 60 frames per second. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, running at 60 frames per second. And then, bro, I wasn't even expecting this. I swore up and down Pragmata was going to be 30 frames per second. I was surprised the game was even coming to the Switch 2. When they announced it, I was like, whoa, this is a big announcement. So I was expecting, because it looks graphically close to a PS5, on par with the Xbox Series S, X, all that. I was like, all right, is this going to be a 30 frames per second game? Looking this good. Bruh, I played the demo. The game is 60 frames per second. Chariot Man, what's up? I would have been fine if this game released and it was running at 30 frames per second on the Switch 2, nobody would say anything because it's the Switch 2. It's a handheld device. But this game is hitting 60 frames per second. Granted, it's uncapped, but for the most part, it's a 60 frames per second game. So, I'm playing Grid Legends. 60 frames per second, looking good. I'm playing on my Switch 2, looking good. I'm playing Dragon Quest Reimagined, looking good, running at 60 frames per second. I'm playing Pragmata now, looking good, running at 60 frames per second. You know the next game that I'm getting on my Switch 2? I thought this was going to be 30 frames per second. When they said Resident Evil Requiem was launching day and date, PS5, Xbox, Switch 2, and they started to show gameplay, I was like, cool, this game looks great. This is going to be 30 frames per second. I'm cool with it because I understand it's a handheld. Expectations lowered. You know what I'm saying? You got to make some concessions. You're playing it on the go, a graphically great looking game. This is going to be 30 frames. Bro. IGN, other press outlets played the game. It's 60 frames per second. Oh my goodness. Now, Capcom has put every single developer on notice. Now, hey, Contra, I was in the camp. Yo, Lake Show. Bro, every single AAA game is running now at 60 frames per second on the Switch. I'm like, what's going on? Contra, I was in your camp, bro. I was like, yeah, but we got to be realistic, bro. It's a handheld. We can't expect all these games to be running at 60 frames. Now, Capcom has changed my expectations. Lake Show with the $2 super chat.
Like I said, the standard has been set. Lol.
Bro, Capcom had just set the standard, bro. They just set the standard, bro. Bruh. And when I look back and think about it, they've been doing this since launch of the Switch 2. They got development kits ahead of everyone else, and it's showing right now. It's showing that Capcom is a step above everyone else when it comes to Switch 2 development. I'm going to keep it a buck. At launch, they launched Street Fighter 6, looking good, running at 60 frames per second. This is Capcom. They just launched, they just gave us the Pragmata demo. Looking good, running at 60 frames per second. This is Capcom again. And now they're launching another big AAA game at the end of this month. the late Resident Evil 9 on the Switch 2 running at 60 frames per second?
2K devs on the clock,
Bro.
then person shrugging dark skin tone tears of joy need to be 60 FPS.
Hey, shout out to Contra. Shout out to Thugs for re-upping his membership. The last Splatoon update is Friday. Have you tried the new? Yeah, I have, Thugs. I have. We've been on it. I've been on it. You've been MIA, but I've been on it. I've been on it like 2 nights. Bro. Thugs. Contra. Bro, Lake Show.
60 FPS or nothing, no more excuses. I was right long.
Lake Show. No more excuses. I'm going to get to Final Fantasy Rebirth. But no more. Capcom just showed me, bro. I can't be like, the game is too graphically intense. It can't run at 60 frames. Nah, bro. How is Capcom consistently doing this with these graphically great looking games? Granted, I think I did hear that they're utilizing the DLSS of the Switch 2. I told y'all that was going to be the difference. That DLSS, where it can be running at a lower native resolution, the frame rate could still be at 60, and it outputs at a higher resolution. That DLSS, bro. Capcom knows something these other developers don't know, bro. It's just clear they've had more time with the system. And I've been saying this, as developers get more and more time with the system, the games are going to look better and run better. We just got to be patient. We were tripping like 2, 3. I was like, the system just came out. It's just been 3 months, bro. Y'all got to chill. Bro. Capcom has set the bar. They've set the bar. 60 frames per second. Now let me get to this game. Bro, I'm telling y'all. Now, Final Fantasy Integrate. I'm looking at that game different now, bro. I was like, nah, this game looks good. And I get it why it's 30 frames per second. Final Fantasy VII Integrate. This is Rebirth showings. I'm going to talk about Rebirth in a second. Final Fantasy VII Integrate on the Switch 2 definitely could have had a performance mode for 60 frames per second. The developers chose to just focus on graphics. They could have had a 60 frames per second performance mode because Pragmata looks just as good as Final Fantasy VII, but there's a 30 frames per second mode. And there's only a 60 frames per second mode in Pragmata. Game definitely could have had a 60 frames per second performance mode now. Bro, I'm telling you what, Capcom, now, this next game, Rebirth, is going to be tricky. And here's why Rebirth is tricky. Yes, I think it can still have a performance mode at 60 frames per second because the PS5 does. Thanks for my flowers, OB. I was right. Lake Show. You were right, bro.
Thanks for my flowers,
bro.
I was right.
Bro, what Capcom is pulling off, it's changed my perspective of what's possible on the Switch 2 now. The graphically intense AAA games, I swore up and down was going to be 30 frames, and I was reserved to be fine with it. They pumping out 60 frames per second games now, bro. On the Switch 2. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Here's the tricky part with this game. They do have a performance and graphics mode on the PS5. So now Capcom has me saying they could do that on the Switch 2. The one caveat with this game is it's open world. Open world games, I give open world games still a pass for 30 frames per second on the Switch 2 because there's a whole lot going on at one time in open world games. You got to load the whole world and still be able to play. So this is the game actually running on the Switch 2 in this trailer, and it looks good. It looks good. For example, GTA 6 on the PS5 is going to be 30 frames per second. So what do we expect the Switch 2 to do? 60 frames per second? I think the only console that's going to have GTA 6 at 60 frames per second is the PS5 Pro. You gotta buy a $700-800 system to get GTA 6 at 60 frames per second. The regular PS5, which most people have, will be playing GTA 6 at 30 frames per second. Why? It's an open world game. So GTA 6 comes on this. A lot of people are saying they can't even run on the Switch 2. Come on, bro. We see the games. We see how they're looking and running on the Switch 2. GTA 6 is running on easy with the...
Yo, what's up, homie? Hope everything is going good. You and the fam. I just downloaded Mario Tennis ready for next week.
Let's go! Fork is golf. But easy with the big 20. Bro, somebody type easy in the chat. Shout out to Easy. Oh, I need to preload Mario Tennis too, bro. I'm day one. We playing that Mario Tennis. We're gonna have a prize tournament for the sponsors of Mario Tennis. It's gonna be lit. Mario Tennis, I can't wait for that game, bro. That's definitely 60 frames. We know most of the Nintendo games are gonna be Donkey Kong Bonanza was 60 frames, and that game looked gorgeous. So there's no excuse. Mario Kart World looks gorgeous, 60 frames per second. There's starting to be more 60 frames per second games than 30 frames per second games on the Switch 2, bro. So, back to my point. Shout out, bro! Easy with the 50! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Easy, you're gonna be the first person I play with when Mario Tennis drops, bro. Let me know what your schedule is that launch day, bro. Hey, shout out to Easy, bro. With the big 50 Mario Tennis tournament. That's what I meant to say. I said Mario Kart. Bruh. I'm speechless, Easy. Wow, bro. Appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate it, my guy. So, GTA 6 on the PS5 is going to be 30 frames per second. So, for the open world games, I get it. More taxing, 30 frames per second. But all y'all other games? Because low key, Cyberpunk 2077, graphically intense game. They had it at 40. They had it above 30. And that's open world. My point is, the expectation has shifted. And it's all Capcom's fault. All Capcom's fault. I'm going to get that Indiana Jones on the Switch too. I don't know if I'm getting it. It's an old game. I'm telling y'all, I'm only getting new games going forward, bro. There's some games I may make an exception from based on what other games are coming out. Pragmata, 60 frames per second. Resident Evil Requiem, 60 frames per second. Street Fighter 6, 60 frames per second. All Capcom great-looking AAA games. Capcom is exposing all these other developers. Bro, they need to have a Final Fantasy VII update for the Switch 2, bro. They need to add a 60 frames per second mode. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, 60 frames per second. Grid Legends. Hey, I'm gonna hook up my racing wheel next time I play Grid Legends. We're gonna race with that Mario Kart racing wheel. 60, and I got the pedals too, gas and brake pedals. 60 frames per second. They're doing the impossible, bro. They're doing what no one thought could be done and have these Switch 2 games running at 60 frames per second. And that's the new expectation. That is the new norm for the Switch 2. And that's all I came on live for. Just to let y'all know, the expectation has shifted. Anytime a game is announced and it's running at 30 frames per second, I'm going to at those developers. Yo, Capcom got these games running at 60 frames per second. What's wrong with, where's my Reggie meme? What's wrong with you? I don't have it on here. Yeah, I got it. The Capcom has their games at 60 frames per second. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Square Enix? What's wrong with you, Bethesda? What's wrong with you, EA? What's wrong with you, 2K? Bruh, NBA 2K27 better be 60 frames per second now, bruh. Hey, facts, L. That's what I was just getting to. 2K better be 60 frames per second now, bruh. Madden, EA. Madden better be 60 frames per second next year, bro. I'm still going to get 2K. But every other game, sports game, you better be 60 frames. If it's not, I'm on the 5 for 2K. And I'm still going to be on the Switch 2. But they got to have these games running at 60 frames now, bro. Capcom has changed the game. They messed up the game, bro. They have flipped the game on its head. But y'all, I got to head out. I got some stuff I got to do. I might be back on later tonight. I'm not sure yet. But what do y'all think about Capcom? These big AAA games now running at 60 frames per second on the Switch 2. There's no more excuses, y'all. Because if we say, nah, this game looks good, that's why it's only 30. Capcom's like, we did it for Pragmata. We did it for Resident Evil Requiem. What's wrong with you? All right, y'all, I'm heading out. Hey, appreciate y'all coming through, man. Easy. Bro, you showed major love again this stream. Easy, you the GOAT, bro. You the GOAT, Easy. Shout out to Easy, bro. Shout out to Lake Show and Contra still dropping donations. I appreciate it too, bro. All right, man. What do y'all think about everything we talked about? Hey, I'm on Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined too now, bro. Hey, we got them games. Sound off in the comment section below. I want to know. But before you go, bro, click that subscribe button. Stay up to date. All things Nintendo. We need to just have a gaming night with the sponsors one night, bro. We'll see, bro. I might just hop on again tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow, I'm gonna just be on Dragon Quest. Open up game chat. Anybody want to hang out or something, bro? All right, y'all. We heading out. Hey, shout out to Sebastian. He won our last Mario. We had the Mario Kart prize tournament. Sebastian won it. All right, y'all. We out. Peace. I see you, Tree. Yeah. We gotta chill. We gotta hang out, bro. All right, I'll see y'all later, man. We out. Deuces.
Obi-Wan plays.
Yes, right. What's up? All right.
Obi-Wan plays.